know you need guidance. Yeah, so you wanna be a
cut 'em up, 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 cut 'em up. He got cud, he got cud, he got cud, he got cud. Cut 'em up, 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 cut 'em up. He got cud, he got cud, he got cud, he got cud. He came to the camp with an Edomite doctrine. Open up the sword and the script got the chop. He ain't come prepared, so he start flip-flop. Get your precepts up before you come see the prophet. Water of the word flowing out like a faucet. Take heed and apply to your life, you're a prophet. Precept book in the cargo pocket. Stomach then I pull it, get some sense to the topic. Going off topic, they ain't running from the script. Can never comprehend cause he running no lips. Toss to and fro like he John on the still. You can tell he about to run, watch the swivel those hill. Cause he came to the camp just to scoff a little bit. He ain't come to let the butter sink in that biscuit. Trying to get him to repent, rather be a misfit. Mocking and scoffing real disobedience, so we cut him up, 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 cut him up. He got cud, he got cud, he got cud, he got cud. Cut him up, 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 cut him up. He got cud, he got cud, he got cud, he got cud. Say the new moon, black and white man roll. Tell you how it's hot, ain't black and the Bible ain't fast. Ain't no dietary laws, you can eat up everything. You ain't gotta keep the Sabbath cause it's on Sunday. Plus the law done away, but you still collect tithe. You a hypocrite, boy, with a mind full of pride. You probably the one pierced Christ in the side. Now you eat the Passover with 2 or 3 sides. Whoremonger spirit need multiple wives. Sodomite spirit, I can see it in your stride. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 5. Says take off the pants, stop dressing like God. The day started Eve, it ain't when the sun rise. Don't worship Allah, don't sell bean pie. Keep the most high laws, watch Israel rise. You a precept king, but do you apply? Cut him up, 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 cut him up. He got cud, he got cud, he got cud, he got cud. Cut him up, 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 cut him up. He got cud, he got cud, he got cud, he got cud.
Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We on our way, Sierra Leone, I'm on a flight. How about the plane? What is you saying? Israel unite. Think it's a game, now we ain't playing, we here to fight. Can't run away, cause we've been called, this is our plight. Got the kingdom in sight. Pack on my Bible to build up disciples, the acts of the apostle, we back. Choosing the ministry over necessity, we got our people on track. Passport, nah, I need a new one, ain't got no more room to stamp. Exalt our voice, preach the kingdom till our lung collapse. I got so much to do, I got so much to prove. Taking my body, putting it under subjection, till eat them under my boot. They the target, cast it down, Yeah, angels got them in scope, raising up to 12 across the globe. Now your freedom revolt. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance.
Prophets, come for the smoke, and you get a forest fire. Preachers, you don't believe them, cause you know they liars. Process, you gotta trust it. Proverbs 3 and 5 them. Precepts, line upon line upon line upon line. I give it the best of me every single time with the finesse. See that I'm blessed. I look at the heaters and see that they stress. Teaching you cap like Mitchell and Ness. You better adjust. Find a script like it got it addressed. This the house of the Israelites. God sign, not Gemini. Outcast, no criminal. Big boy with the words. 3,000 proverbs. The South got something to say. See the truth, 4K. Soap and no, it's not Olay. Watch to make you clean. God talking sound serene. Purge the gold and crown the kings. Ain't no peace, you know what this means.
We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption.
Out your TV, yeah, you see me crossing waters, landing VP. We don't fear no plan to retreat. We cross land and sea to greet thee. We be in and out these cities, Jews on journeys, juking beatings, raised to the faith on time. We leasing landlord great, yeah, we ride on GP. We be in and out of traffic, then we gone. Government steady wondering what they did. Service, sealing service, what we own. Best believe the Father's head is here. Fear. Psalm 111 and 10, gotta pray cause the day draw near. When he raised from the grave and them slaves don't slave, but until that day, small victories here. Like, yeah, we did that, but we not done, yeah, we won't get back. In that day we gon' pop some, now we don't run. I die deep, not the one, gotta grind cause the time gon' come. When you feel your lie and he crack that sky, a lot of people gon' die when he block that sun. Christ said these heathens is nothing. Wouldn't eat them on blast. I dare these demons to open fire here.
Hold up, D.
Yeah, they all gon' see. Try to defy like pistons, I'm not missing. This my mission. Named the redemption, ain't playing no victory. Made me vicious.
We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance.
Hey, hold up. I'm with IUIC.
Keep our name up out your mouth. I'm with IUIC. We do the Lord's work from coast to coast, sea to sea. We the front runners that's speaking with no pride. Just open up your eyes, you can see we worldwide. We teaching God's laws with the faith in Jesus Christ. That's the secret. Sheesh.
My people going to war. We bringing out the fire. Those heathens we ignore. Cause we know that they're liars. I'm reading in the we're reading in the they reading in the
Hey, shalom, 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 Most High in Christ, bless Israel. You are tuned in on Tuesday night to In the Scripts.
You are listening to In the Scripts.
That's right.
Reloaded.
We back with another hot show for y'all. Hey, we missing the cap in physical presence tonight, but we're gonna bring out a great show. But let's go ahead and introduce the crew though. We got some stuff going on, so I gotta just make it do what it do, man. Hey, to my right,
I'm Officer Shamar.
To my right?
Officer Jacob.
Next to Jacob?
All praise to the Most High. It's LSJ.
That's LSJ, light-skinned Jacob.
That's right.
To his right?
Officer Lavi.
And last but certainly not least,
Officer Karim, Most High in Christ Bless.
Officer Karim.
You got the juice.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
What the hell?
You got the juice, huh?
I'm just a vessel.
Huh?
I'm just a vessel.
But you got the juice.
I'm just a vessel.
And
You got the
and you
juice,
dripping in your
man.
garment too.
Did I say your name wrong?
You said Karel. It better sound like we don't talk every day.
No, I didn't. I said Karim.
Okay. All praise.
Nah, man, hold on, man. Like I don't know your name,
Hey,
man.
all praises, man.
Hold on, man. Israelite Party. How many other songs we got to name, bro?
He got a bunch of hits in Israel.
Let's name the song of Moses, man. I'm just a vessel.
Oh, man.
He got
Here
Cap
we
on.
go,
He
man.
got Deke on the joint.
Right. Yeah, he got Deke on the joint.
Machata.
Right. Yeah, he got Deke. He got 2 Dekes on there.
Ooh, he's hot.
He got 2 Dekes on the album.
He's on fire.
So what we talking about tonight,
All
officer?
praises. All praises, man. All praises. Hey, we're gonna the title of tonight's show is They Are Confederate Against Us. So in the latter part of the show, of course, y'all know we like to bring out history. And that history that we're gonna bring out is gonna be dealing with those that had us in captivity. We're gonna touch on some of the history of the different nations that had us in slavery. Not that we can do it any bigger than anybody else, but we're just going to touch on that, though. But y'all know how we do. We open up every show, man. We got these new segments
Right.
with our brothers bringing it out.
Right.
We've got
All right, all praise. So y'all know what time it is now. It's time for the Ear to the Street
There it is.
segment.
That's right.
The Ear to the Street segment, man. What we doing is we touching on the trending topic of the week, right? So we touching on what's trending across the media and what's going on in black media. So what we got today, Officer Jacob?
Man, we got the situation going on with our brother DeMar Hamlin. A lot of people seen that he was injured during the football game. And it was some interesting comments that was made by some folks about the injury. And we gonna see what people think about it, man. But I got to say something else, too, real quick, man.
Bring it up.
I know we ain't talking about it now. We going to get to it. But this I do me a moment of the week, man.
Bro,
man.
God
Hey,
damn,
hey,
man.
y'all
Listen.
gotta see this foolishness.
It's the worst one y'all done seen yet. Yes, it's worse than Pissy Cup last week. It's
So
worse
make
than
sure
Pissy
y'all
Cup.
stay tuned in
Oh,
and see
man.
that.
We're
It's all
gonna see.
bad.
We're gonna see. Hey, so without further ado, let's actually see the incident itself. Let's see what happened. What is everybody talking about right now? Go ahead and play the video, AV.
It's not what any of us want to see, and everybody's around him, and just hope that he's going to be okay.
So we'll take another break here in Cincinnati.
Right. So we seen what happened to our brother DeMar Hamlin. What a lot of people don't know, what the big deal is about it, is they actually had to resuscitate the brother on the field. The
Right.
brother was literally dead. They had to bring him back to life on the field.
Right. And the thing that caused the big issue was the teams decided to postpone the game or cancel the game.
Right.
Which I'll be honest, that is a little unheard of. I know I've never seen that before. I grew up playing sports, playing football specifically. And it's a lot of crazy injuries that come in that case. But, you know, I've never seen them cancel a game for it. But, I mean, the brother died. I mean, what else do you expect?
Right. Like I grew up playing football as well. And I ain't never seen that happen on the football field. So for them to, you know, I see why they canceled it. You see what I'm saying? Because who would be able to be in their right mind after that to go and play?
Right, to go play
You know
a violent sport like that. And something else could have happened, even worse, because brother's mind not right, and football being one of the most violent sports there is, you know what I'm saying, a brother could get even, you know, more jacked up off of that. So it's good on them that they canceled the game, but everybody doesn't agree with that. And we gonna see about it.
Let's see who didn't agree.
Right. Pull it up, AV. Let's see how some people feel about the situation.
Hey, zoom in a little bit for me, AVA. You know I got old eyes. All praise to the Lord. So this is the infamous Edomite Skip Bayless.
Hey, hold on, you didn't say his name right. It's Skip.
Oh, Skip.
Skip.
Yeah, Skip.
Hey, put it on the screen, AV.
Skip.
Want to make sure the people see it.
Listen what Skip tweeted during the game, man. This is Skip Bayless. It happened during the game. This is what he tweeted. He said, "No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season? A game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant."
Damn.
Man.
So, hey, my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hey, so literally, remember you said he posted this during the game. At this point, we don't even know if the brother is alive or not.
Right. You know what else? We don't know if they made the decision to cancel the game because look at the post. It said they're considering.
Right.
So what happened was they was on a long pause, not knowing if they was going to continue the game or not, and he tweeted this as that was going on.
Right.
He said that the game was crucial, not that the brother died on the field was crucial, but the game itself was crucial that they was postponing it.
Right.
It let y'all black people know that these white folks don't give a daggone about your life. They just want you to get out there and bang your head and your body up against each other and get them money. That's it.
You know what else that shows, officer? That shows that just because our brothers and sisters make it to a big position to make some money, don't mean that they still not niggas.
Right.
Because they think, oh, you get paid $2 million to play football. Well, goddamn, I die on the field, and it don't mean nothing.
Right.
The brother literally died. They had to bring him back to life, resuscitate him, and it don't mean nothing. So them Negroes are still slaves.
Hey, but we got to see it from the master's point of view. You got to remember, if it's 100 slaves working and one of these Negroes pass out picking cotton, we still got to produce this cotton, nigga. We don't care.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's how he looking at it.
Exactly.
Hey, so even some of our people that don't have spiritual integrity, even they got enough sense to understand that this wasn't right. So let's see what they had to say. Let's see what his co-host, Shannon Sharp, had to say. Let's go.
Morning. There's been a lot of speculation of why I wasn't on air yesterday, and I won't get into speculation or conjecture, innuendo, but I will say this. In watching that game on Monday night, what happened to Damar Hamlin struck me a little different. As a brotherhood in the NFL, when injuries happen, when we know injuries are a part of the game, I've seen guys suffer ACLs and Achilles tear, but I've never seen anybody have to be revived and fight for their life on the field. So it struck me a little differently because I remember seeing my brother paralyzed on the field temporarily, and he was able to regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down.
Okay.
Pause it. Damn it. Pause it.
Bring it out.
Look at the pride of the Edomite. He couldn't even let the brother finish what he was saying. No, hold on.
Right.
I'm not taking that down.
He couldn't wait.
You're going to appreciate the fact that I said that nigga should die. Now we should continue playing that game. I ain't taking it down.
Right.
Hey, the translate. I'm going to translate that conversation. He's, nigger, I don't give a damn about that boy that passed out on the field. Who do you think you is, boy? I ain't apologizing.
Ain't no way, boy.
That's the
Then
transition.
here goes Skip.
Skip.
Right.
Hey, if you don't care about that man life, Skip.
Right. Hey, so let's keep playing it.
Regain focus. Skip tweeted something, and although I disagree with the tweet, and hopefully Skip would take it down, but I didn't want it.
Well, time out. I'm not going to take it down because I stand by what I tweeted.
Skip, let me finish.
All right. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Go ahead, let's go, Jen.
Okay.
I mean, I cannot even get through a monologue without you interrupting me.
Well,
you could have came back, Skip.
Well, I thought
Skip, just let.
I didn't know you were going to bring up.
No,
this.
I was just going to say, Skip. I didn't want to yesterday to get into a situation where Damar Hamlin was the issue. We should have been talking about him and not get into your tweet. That's what I was going to do. But you can't even let me finish my opening monologue without you interrupting.
Okay. I was under the impression you weren't going to bring this up because nobody here had a problem with that tweet.
No. Clearly, the bosses wanted you to offer explanation, so clearly somebody...
No, they did not have...
Hold on, pause it. He just told us what happened behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He just told us that, hey, we talked about it. The masters talk about it, nigga.
Right.
We don't care about it. It's y'all that have the problem. Right. He just told us
this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way.
What the hell? Hey, go ahead, officer.
But you know... Esau got that lion tongue, man. It's been prophesied in them to be a lion people, man.
Right.
We gonna see in the second.
Right. Because remember, he just said that the bosses said that nobody cared. They didn't want him to take it down. No, the bosses didn't really have no concern.
Right.
So play the next video, AV. Let's see if the devil is telling the truth. That's video.
Follow what's happening on Twitter. I just tweet. But my boss here at Fox called and said, hey, people are really reacting strongly to your tweet. Maybe you should clarify, which I immediately did.
Hello.
So that shows right there that he lying.
Right.
His boss did reach out to him and tell him, hey, look, take that down because it ain't looking good.
Right.
Hey, what his boss really said is, boy, are you crazy? You got to be smarter than that, boy. We didn't want to cancel the damn game, but you don't tell everybody. Right. That's what he said. That's how the conversation went. Right. So y'all know, look, on the Ear to the Street segment, our job is to keep our ear to the streets. So we want to see what our people is saying about this situation on social media. Go ahead and put it up.
This is Robert Griffin III. He's a former NFL player, for y'all that don't know.
Also known as RG3.
RG3. Right. From the great state of Texas, by the way. Anyways, Damar Hamlin's life is in the balance. Get your head out of your ass.
Damn. So this is them responding to the tweet that, what's his name, Skip Bayless posted about canceling the game.
A former NFL player. So this is how you feel about it. And Skip ain't never played no football.
Right.
But yet he talking about keep the game going.
Right. You know what else real quick about Skip and Shannon? A lot of people don't know Shannon Sharp is a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
He was a 3-time Super Bowl champion. And, of course, we're not glorifying the Greek's fashions, but we just talking about his credentials.
Right.
So to sit, this is show you the pride of Esau's heart. Right. To sit across from a man who's superiorly more qualified on an issue than you and still believe you have the cojones to tell him, no, I'm going to put that tweet up and I ain't taking it down. Ain't nothing you can tell me.
That's that prideful spirit Esau got, though.
Prideful spirit.
It don't matter what credentials you have. They feel as though since I'm the so-called white man, I'm better than you. I know more than you.
Right. And let me get a real quick scripture before we read this next comment. Somebody get Ezekiel 7:24 real quick. Ezekiel chapter 7:24. Because you got to think, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure Skip never played football on a big level like the NFL.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for the master to have compassion on the slaves. Because what we see is all the other former slaves is they treating like, yo, we know what it's like to be in that field all day and pass out. You know what I'm saying? So read that, officer.
Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 24. Wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses.
So the Lord told us that this so-called white man, that they are the worst type of people on the face of the earth. We reading about it right now. We proving it. Again, remember, he posted this while the brother, everybody probably thought he was dead still.
Right.
So let's get back to these comments, though. What we got next?
This is from Sauce Gardner, another current NFL football player.
Mm-hmm.
He said, are you seriously talking about when the football game should be postponed? Damar Hamlin's health is all that matters at the moment. Nothing else.
Damn. Let's go to the next one. So we see, hey, the slaves, they got some sense. You know what I'm saying? Even though they might not have no spiritual integrity, they understand that this wasn't right. Go ahead.
Isaiah Thomas, a professional basketball player. I hope they fire you, bro. For you to even think of the game is very sad.
Damn. Keep it going.
He's not fired. He still has his job.
Let
that have been one of us to say something. Say if that was Tom Brady that fell out.
Right.
Then you talking, and then Shannon Sharp say, "Hey man, postpone the game at a crucial time in the regular season like this."
Right.
He'd have been fired.
Right. Hey, that's facts.
He'd have paid millions of dollars. They'd have had him apologize 10,000 times.
Right.
And some more stuff.
And sensitivity training.
Right. Hey, so we see that the majority of our people, they upset about this post. But this is the thing, because, you know, right now we live in an age of counsel culture. But the question I got for our people is who chooses who gets counseled?
Right.
It ain't us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they counsel Colin Kaepernick. They counsel Kanye West. They try to counsel Kyrie Irving, so on and so forth. So we see who chooses what goes and what does not go.
Right.
Where the ADL for this?
Right. Right.
That's hate speech, man.
That's anti-Semitic.
Yes, sir.
Might I add?
Facts. Let's read this last one. I think this is the last one.
Yep. From Kendrick Perkins. You're a sick individual. Real talk.
Damn.
Hey, I'm going to tell you like this, man. I'm seeing the comments, and I know it's kind of off topic, but it's still on topic. Our brothers went harder on Kyrie than they did on Skip.
That's
I can
a
tell
fact.
you that much.
I didn't even think about that.
They
That's
went
a good
super
point.
hard. They made videos, tweets, all kind of stuff, man, behind it. But let Skip say, "Oh, you just a sick individual." Real talk.
Right.
That's
You know, for a whole week or two, they was commenting on different talk shows, different sports shows talking about Kyrie. But Skip just get one tweet and then we move on to the next thing.
Right. Hey, so without further ado, we know what a lot of people want to see. They waiting on the Idumean moment of the week.
Man.
Hey, I'll read it for you. So for the people that don't know, the purpose of this segment is to show everybody that we are two different type of people. We ain't the same.
Right.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
That manner there is talking about 2 different mannerisms. They will be 2 different people having 2 different lifestyles that they live.
Right. So let's see what white people doing when they're not oppressing black people. Let's play the video.
2 different mannerisms, indeed. Y'all gonna see.
Ookie Cookie. It was just a lighthearted drinking game we used to play in college. Harmless, really. Some people called it Wet Biscuit, but our group preferred to call it Ookie Cookie. Anyways, you just get the bros together. You stand in a group in a circle around a bar stool, and you put a cookie on top, like sugar cookie, M&M cookie. Doesn't really matter, just as long as there's adequate surface area. When the leader screams go, everyone pulls it. This is the funny part. Everyone pulls out their unit and starts feverishly self-stimulating with the goal.
Stop it real quick.
To not be the last.
He said, "This is the funny
This
part.
is the funny part.
The funny
hell is
part.
this?
What the hell is so funny about pulling your dingling out in a
Ain't
circle
no way, boy.
around a bar stool with a cookie on it?"
Hey, it get worse, officer. It get worse. Hey, AB, go back a few seconds, man. It get worse, officer. It gets worse.
What type of place is this?
Get some help.
Hey, press play, man.
Everyone pulls out their unit and starts feverishly self-stimulating with the goal to not be the last one that finishes on the cookie, because the last person to finish is then obligated to eat the cookie in its entirety. You know, having said that out loud, all these years later, it almost sounds a little gay. But no, it was just mostly just a team building exercise. It was a bonding experience.
Hold the hell up. Hold up.
What you got?
He said almost sounds a little gay.
Hey.
What the hell is that?
I wonder what's a lot gay in his mind. Like,
Right.
what's a lot gay?
I mean, I don't think
I
it get
don't
no
even
worse
wanna
than
know.
that.
I don't want to know.
Shit.
Hey, look. Hey, check this out.
You got me cussing and everything.
Hey, yo,
That was worthy.
Hey, he said they start feverishly stimulating over the cookie.
right. Hey, listen, it's a competition.
Hey, he
They
said
don't want to be
feverishly, bro.
last, right?
He said feverishly, bro. So they going in,
Bro.
Hey, but let's see what our people reaction to this is. Go ahead, press play.
What the fuck he just said?
Hey, y'all heard what he said. Hey, y'all got it.
Hey, check it out, man. So this is what these Edomites is doing, man. So for the so-called black woman that's interested in these white men, this is what they doing behind closed doors with their friends.
Right.
They're having bonding or team building moments around the chair with a cookie on it.
Right.
Listen. So watch who you kiss. You might get the loser.
Right. Listen,
All
listen.
of losers.
Hey, I'm glad you said that about the loser, because we've been talking about what they doing. The actual act is in itself, like the initial part, is terrible.
Right.
But the fact that
God,
one of them got to eat that, what's that, bro? They eating that cookie, bro.
What the hell is this?
Bruh, man, I don't know what to say.
Hey, man, so now that we know what our oppressors out here doing when they not oppressing us, let's go to commercial break. Most High in Christ bless y'all.
It looks more like a military group than anything else, but I'll read what they have.
You said something about it looked like something.
An army.
What make you say that?
Because look, it's like military style.
Why do you support Kyrie?
I'm pretty impressed. I heard it from about a mile away, so I had to come over.
Okay.
How many men?
Uncle was there where you left. Your auntie was there where you left. Cousin was there where you left. Brother was there where you left. Sister was there where you left. Father, your mother, your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your brother, your sister was there where you left. 12 tribes! 12 tribes! 12 tribes!
There's something that was said that has never been done or seen before. Unity of our people. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. Is that right, brothers? We are the Israelites the Bible speaks of, and we will not apologize. We're going to teach this truth come hell or high water.
Christ said the gates of hell shall not prevail against us. I want everybody to understand that. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 3, the Lord said, endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Let's hear it. Unity! 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 And we will not ever bow the knee or apologize. So at that, brothers, who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king? I'll rise! I'll rise! I'll rise! I'll rise! Unity! 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 Who's the king? Who's the king? Who's the king?
You're listening to In the Scripts.
Reloaded. We are back.
We're back.
We are back. Hey, man, look, if you wasn't watching the segment that went on for the Idumean moment of the week,
oh God,
man, you missed what Edom is up to, man.
Man,
Edom is vile, man. Edom is vile. Like, bro, where y'all get that from, bro?
That's what I want to know.
Listen. It's a secret committee of special brothers that got the juice. You know what I'm saying? Led by the mighty juice man himself, Officer Karim. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
hey, after that segment, be careful.
I was about to say, be careful who you call the juice man after that segment, bro.
You right.
Because them guys said that they had the juice on the cookie.
Oh, they had the juice already.
Right. They had the juice cookie.
What you said in break, you said he was feverishly.
Bro. Like, you ever seen, who's ever seen the movie Airplane? You remember the old school movie Airplane?
Yes.
You remember that when they was on the plane and the plane was I think it was about to crash or something, and you had that one guy on the plane that started sweating, and all you saw was water running down. That's
but you know, ain't no way, boy. You know, officer, it's no new thing under the sun. Think about it. This is a tradition that they passed down. That's some Greekish. Rome.
Hold on.
That's a tradition.
They passing the ookie cookie down.
Hey. The fraternity boys, I first heard that in college, man. That's no new thing.
Oh, y'all knew about this tradition?
Not personally.
Not personally.
But hear it tell.
I ain't talking about y'all.
Hey, Lavi, are you talking in your mic or is it low?
It's low.
Oh, okay.
No, I know not y'all. I'm asking, like, you heard that they've done some crazy stuff. The school I went to, it was small, so I'm like, okay, they probably just, they probably doing some weird stuff like this, but they had me up until the end of that video. In my mind, I was like, okay, somebody just picking a cookie up with their damn ass. It was like, okay, that's wrong. Even when he said everybody take it, I'm like, okay, so they pee on the cookie and then they eat it. Wrong. I would have never guessed in 1,000 years.
I thought it was gonna be urine. I thought the same thing. Bro.
Right.
Hey, check it out though. So this is what they be doing. Not that I was ever in a fraternity or nothing like that, but I know these are the things that they do in these Greekish fashions in these different fraternities. And you got black people that follow in the trends of these fraternities, because the black fraternities, quote unquote, the black Greek, which is foolish to me. How can you be black and Greek at the same time? I don't understand.
Well, they was called Hellenists.
True.
They called them Grecians.
Yeah.
True. But they don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't know their history. You know what I'm saying? They just want to follow behind what the white man and white woman is doing. So they was like, you know what? We can't join y'all group. We're going to start our own. We're going to start the AKAs, the Deltas, the Q Dogs, and this, that, and the third.
Right.
And the hazing process, this is what they be doing. they be doing stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the white fraternities, yes. The Negro fraternities, they do something a little, I wouldn't say on that level, but I will say this. Remember back in the 80s, it was an 80s movie called The Nerds, right?
Yeah.
It was
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yep.
Remember Lamb to Lamb to Lamb?
Yep.
Remember that brother Lamar?
Yeah.
The gay one?
Yeah.
That's the one who I could imagine picking up the cookie.
Right.
Losing on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Officer Jacob, man, I'm telling you. It's at least one Negro that done ate that cookie. I'm telling you right now.
Especially today.
I'm telling you right now. There's one Negro that ate that at least.
Hey, real quick, let's touch on that thing about the hell. Oh, hey, by the way, too, shout out. That was Soldier Nathaniel, I believe.
Soldier Nathaniel,
That was Soldier Nathaniel that brought that out, man. Hey, Soldier Nathaniel, I don't know what channels you searching, bro, but
hey, stay off the dark web. Stay off the dark web,
Yeah,
brother.
you on the dark web, bro.
Right.
Hey, but let's touch on that about the Hellenists, because like Officer Lavi said, man, our people don't know, right? So if you just tuning in, for y'all to understand in the scripts, man, we call it in the scripts. Why? Because we take real world situations, history, and all types of stuff, and we show it to you in the scriptures.
That's right.
Right? That's what we do. We go in these scripts. So let's go to 2 Maccabees real quick, and let's look at black Greeks, or those that were called Hellenists, and today now they willingly. But it's going to show that history started here in the Bible. 2 Maccabees chapter 4, start at verse number 8.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 8. Promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver and another revenue, 80 talents.
So this guy, this was Jason. He was crooked. He had a brother named Onias who was a high priest. Jason envied him, and he wanted the position of high priest. So what did he do? He started cooning for the Edomite, the quote-unquote white man, and said, hey, man, I'll pay you for certain things. All right? Keep reading.
Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more if he might have license to set up a place for exercise.
Now, that word exercise means, what is it? Naked?
Gymnasium.
Naked gymnasium.
Gymnos.
Yeah, a naked. So that's why when you look at all these old Greek statues, that's why you always see them, naked men.
Right.
Because this gymnasium. So notice, he said, I'll give you money to come up under you because I want to be Greek like you. So I'm going to give you money. But I promise you that I'll give you 150 more if you give me a license to set up a place of naked exercise or a gymnasium.
Right. This is why they feel so comfortable to put out their units.
Right.
Hey, he knew what they was about.
Yeah.
He knew what they was
And
about.
feverishly.
Yep. Yep. Keep reading.
And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen.
And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen. This is when they started. This is what you would call combines today.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is what you would call combines. Yeah, little leagues and stuff like this. This is them teaching us to play sports and do what it was that they were doing. And this man who is an Israelite, today we would call him a Negro,
right?
Who is paying his way into taking our people into these sinful acts. Go ahead.
And to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochus.
And this is where they changed their names. He said, I'm going to pay you if we can call ourselves by your name. This is Negro stuff, man. Go ahead and jump down to verse 12.
Verse 12. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself and brought the chief young men.
The best, the most strapping, those in slavery that were called the bucks.
Right.
The big, strong, athletic ones. He said he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower and brought the chief young men, the biggest, strongest, fastest, most athletic men. Go ahead.
Under his subjection. And made them wear a hat.
And that's that hat of Hermes that you see, right? With the little leaves on it and stuff.
Right.
All of that goes back to the Olympics. Go ahead.
Now, such was the height of Greek fashion.
It was the height of what?
Of Greek fashion.
What was it you was talking about, Lavi?
Oh, the black people getting into them Greeks.
Right.
Black
fraternities.
The fraternities and stuff.
Right. So at this time, it says this was the height of Greek fashions. So the same way as when you go to college, you think that, oh, man, I need to join a fraternity. I got to get stamped on, and then I got to do step shows and da-da-da. That's the exact same thing that's happening here in the Bible. Keep reading.
An increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness.
The exceeding what?
Profaneness.
Profaneness. Pulling your rod out and feverishly working to put your stuff, your seed, on a cookie for somebody to eat.
Why are you gay?
Hey,
that is profane.
Hey, that wasn't a part of the introduction manual. They ain't tell people they was gonna be doing that.
Right. They ain't making
Imagine that one brother that made it up in an all-white fraternity. He like, yo, what's going on?
Right.
Hey, but when you play high school football or college football with those Edomites, they play like that in the locker room.
Yeah, that's true.
And you gotta let them know, like, hey, bro, I don't play like that. Right. So you gotta pretty much give them that look, like I whoop you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they'll leave you alone after that, and they'll tell their buddy, hey, he don't play like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Straight up.
That's
Hey,
how it
quick,
goes down.
I want to add to that point also. You're right, because when I played football, I went to a predominantly white school in high school. And to your point, they be in the locker room chasing each other with the towel, trying to smack each other with the towel. I'm like, bro, I don't know how you so comfortable getting naked in front of 50 other dudes. I'm going home to take a shower,
Exactly.
bro. I don't know what you talking about, bro. I live 20 minutes from the school. My mom and dad out there waiting for me. I'm finna get into my regular street clothes, and I'm going home and taking the shower, bro. They in there playing. Let's grab the towel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
wait, how they doing it again, bro?
I can't do that again, man. That was just for 1 second. With a flashback hit the soul.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah, the antics of LSJ.
Yeah.
He said,
That's what they was doing. I wasn't doing it. I took my ass home.
I was following you, bro. I was following. I know what you're doing.
You messing with me. Oh, I'll praise.
Yeah, we get it, man. We get it, man. All praises, man. But yeah, hey, so these are the things that we see, man. These are things that we have to prepare ourselves against, right, in these times, because this stuff you see on TikTok and various places on a regular basis. Right. And what that does is the scripture calls it evil communication, right? It's a constant diet of things that are antichrist, that are contrary to the scriptures. And your mind begins to muse on these things, right? And eventually it becomes something to do. And you find yourself messing around, slipping up, you know what I'm saying, doing some goofy stuff, you know what I'm saying, and be out the spirit, but it's because you've seen it so much and so often that it seems regular. So it doesn't even seem goofy or out of the spirit to you.
It's another way that they normalize homosexuality and gayness and try to make it cool and take the sting out of it, right?
Right.
Let me get a scripture.
Yes, sir.
Genesis 9 and 22. I'm going to show you the cloth that we cut from, right? These are our forefathers.
The book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 22.
Bring it out!
And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father.
He did what?
Saw the nakedness of his father, and told his two brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders.
And we from Shem. So this is a move that we would do right here, right? Read.
And laid it upon both their shoulders and went backwards.
And did what?
And went backwards.
To avoid any, gay
right
ideology, anything. This is what they did.
Right.
Read.
And covered the nakedness of their father.
Did something that was righteous and something that was lawful right there, right? This is how we supposed to get down, right? Not that circle jerk business, right?
Yeah.
The hell is this?
Right.
Hey, when we went to 2 Maccabees 4, did we read 15? Did we read that?
No.
Read verse 15.
we didn't.
Read verse 15. Because here's the point, man. A lot of our people, when you playing those sports, most of all, you breaking a Sabbath day, right? And that's unlawful, right? There's nothing wrong with exercising and being competitive, but when it goes against God's laws, that's when the problem comes in.
Right.
Read that.
2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 15.
Bring it out!
Not setting by the honors of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians best of all.
The honor of our fathers is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
So we kept the laws of God. Our people decided not to do that like they're doing today and playing those sports. NBA, NFL, I know it's money in it. But these mothers that got these kids playing football that don't mind their kids playing football, you ought to look at that player that died on that field the other day.
Right.
Consider what you're getting your child into for that bag.
Right.
Start keeping God's laws to come out those Greek Spanish.
You know what else, officer? It's a good point. It goes back to a show probably about a month or two ago we did, but Officer Yakub was bringing out how they make it a point in our people's brain that we can't be the next doctors or lawyers or so on and so forth. So a lot of our mothers and fathers, we grow up thinking that the only possibility for our kids to be something successful is to be on that football field or is to be on that basketball court or something like that. We're not even thinking of the possibility of the great, scientists or artists or revolutionaries that we could be, because we just so boxed into this one way of making it out.
One-track mind.
Exactly, that one-track mindset. You're right.
Right. And, the J's or the issues, they like to have it so. They don't want us to be those doctors or engineers or lawyers or nothing like that. That's their whole plan. They want to keep us down.
Right.
So we got to figure this thing out, come back to God. That's how we win.
Yes. Right. Hey, if you listening, man, to the show, stop telling your kids, oh, college doesn't matter, school doesn't matter. We know it's not for everybody, but when you think about building a nation, right, we talk about we the nation of Israel. It's more than us going on the street and teaching the Bible and telling people that they're Israelites and they got to keep God's commandments. That's obviously the first and foremost mission. But when those people come into this nation, we need doctors. We need dentists. I know I ain't never been to an Israelite dentist before. We need dentists. We need family medicine. Yep. We need lawyers to fight for us on the legal side. We need teachers and educators, so on and so forth. So let's put that in our children's mind now, so where we can start building ourselves to be self-sufficient.
Hey, give me First Maccabees 1, verse 41, 42, and 43. So just to go back on what you were saying, officer, how playing these sports, they cause our people to break the commandments of the Lord. Because whenever they play these sports, what day of the week are they playing these games?
Saturday, the seventh day.
The Sabbath. And the Christian church had you to believe that we ain't got to keep the Sabbath no more. They tell you the laws is done away with. So I blame the Christian church.
As well as you should.
I blame the Christian church.
You should.
Let's read this.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
This sounds like America. This is democracy right here. All should be one people. Read.
And every one should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites.
Of the who?
Of the Israelites.
So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
Consented to his religion.
Consented to his religion. Christianity. We consented to that religion. Come on.
And sacrificed unto idols.
We started worshiping other gods. Going to church on Sunday is worshiping another god. It's worshiping the sun god Ra, if you didn't know. Read.
And profane the Sabbath.
And profane the Sabbath. When you going out and playing sports on a Sabbath day, which is supposed to be a holy day according to the Bible, which is a holy day.
That's right.
According to the Bible. Ain't no working supposed to be going on, but you out working out.
Right.
You out here playing on the football field. You out here working because they'll tell you that that's their job. That's the way they get their money. So you're working by playing those sports. You're not supposed to work on a Sabbath day. So we've been taught, our people have been taught to profane the Sabbath day.
Right. And that's why go to Sirach 7:25. And I want you to read that real quick. Because a lot of times our people got to understand. Now, we know that we was brought over here on slave ships. We went into captivity, and they changed our mind about a lot of stuff. They didn't tell us who we was. We lost our heritage. But now, this is the information age. You know you the Israelites. We everywhere now. So it's time for you to repent and turn back to God and acknowledge your offense. Read that for me.
The book of Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 25. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou.
Sirach 17 and 25. I called the wrong script. I said 7 and 25.
And I was like, man, I don't know what.
I thought you had something.
Hey, I could have made it work. I could have made it work. Marriage is honorable and all.
Yes, sir.
Watch me work.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 25. Return unto the Lord.
So return unto God. Now that we realize on who we are, return unto God. Put your face back in his Bible. Learn his ways. Remember the Sabbath day. Read.
And forsake thy sins.
Forsake transgression of the law. Don't let nobody tell you God's laws is done away with. God's laws are forever.
Right.
Forever, ever. Read.
Make thy prayer before his face and offend less.
And offend less. The more you find out about who you are, the more you start to deal with yourself and examine yourself, offend less and turn away from your sins. That's all I have.
I like that scripture there because when it says return unto the Lord, it's talking about repent.
That's right.
Then it says, forsake thy sins, make thy prayer before his face. It's written in that order for a reason. Because if you don't return and forsake your sins, the prayers that y'all so-called praying on the field, and praying up in your church,
bring it out.
It ain't before his face. It's
Right.
falling on deaf ears when you read in the Bible. Let's get that. John 9:31.
That's a good point.
Let's
also.
read that real quick.
Hey, them prayers ain't getting above their helmets.
Hey, because they praying with their helmet on, by the way,
Exactly.
too, which is another sin. But we ain't,
The book of John, chapter 9 and verse 31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners.
You see that? God don't hear sinners. You out there breaking the Sabbath. You praying on deaf ears, brother, sister.
That's right.
That's it.
Well, what about the sinner's prayer?
Hey, finish that out.
But if any man be a worshiper of God and doeth his will
is the keeping of the commandments. When you read Psalms 40 and verse 8, read.
Him he heareth.
Him or her he heareth when you do the commandments.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, real quick, AV, I sent a video. I put a video in there, a screen record video, so upload that. But I want y'all first to find something for me before we play that video. I want y'all to look up something known as religious democracy. Look up religious democracy. Because something that officer said was 100% true. Democracy is a religion. They never want to tell you that, right? But democracy was called the religion of the Greeks, right? So let's look up, let's see what religious democracy means, if y'all don't mind. And I got all faith in AV. I know the AV been on point tonight.
Oh, all praise.
AV been on point, man. Yeah.
When I walked in the building, I felt the spirit of AV. I was like, it's going to be on tonight.
Man, you felt the spirit?
I felt the spirit of AV.
Felt the spirit. Yeah.
Hey, I think it's because we got a heavy hitter here too as well, you know.
We do. I don't know if he wants us to say his name. He heavy.
We got a phantom six
They
man.
knew he was coming to town. They got an hour early.
Y'all see it? Religious democracy.
Is it Wikipedia?
Yep. Let's just read.
Right
Yeah, let's read that right there. What is religious democracy? Can y'all see it?
Hey, you might want to click on the link. Or we just reading that? We just reading that?
Yeah. Click the link, man. Click the links, and let's make sure we find that piece. Because you know how sometimes what they show don't be right there at the top. Yeah, that's it.
Religious.
Yes, that's cool. Yep.
Religious democracy is a form of government where the values of a particular religion affect laws and rules.
Y'all see that? So it says the values of a particular religion affect laws and rules. Because how did they establish America? What do they say on the dollar bill?
In God we trust.
In God we trust. So that affects everything, and that's why they were able to spread their doctrine of democracy across the face of the earth, because they press their values on everybody else, right? Go ahead.
The term applies to all countries in which religion is incorporated into the form of government.
There it is. So anytime that you have democracy, then you have religion in the government. Religion is in the government. But that's religion. It's not the laws of God. They put the laws of God up there, but they faking them. Right. So, hey, I wanted to pull out this video before we go to another short break, because that whole thing with that cookie, it should have been somebody in the room
that did this
with the cojones to do what you're about to see right here, man. Pay attention to this real quick.
Yo, boy, guys, I am done with school. I don't gotta wake up at 5 anymore. This is good, the kid. And what's that on that mean? Oh.
Excuse me, young man. I'm trying to wash my hands at one of these six.
I'm doing the video, sir. I'm doing the video. He's lying out.
I don't give a goddamn what you're doing. You can't haul both of them.
I ain't doing the video.
You better move your ass out the way.
What's wrong with this?
Baby, I slap the shit out of you, young man.
I wish
you better
you would.
get the
I wish
fuck
you
out of the
would.
way. You better back up, young man. This ain't what you want, young man. This ain't what you. You what? Back the fuck up. You better back the fuck up out my face, goddamn. You better find you a bucket. I'm not the one.
Hey, man, you see an old brother like that with suspenders on, bro, you better back up, man.
You know it's bad.
Hey, was his hand still wet? Was his
Right.
You didn't see the water fall, bro?
Right. Man, he smacked him with the foam of the soap.
Yes, he did. That man defeated. Hey, he had a belt and suspenders on.
No, look back to
Lord Jesus.
Yeah, let it play again from right there, bro, right there.
I wish you better back up, young man. This ain't what you want, young man. This ain't what you. You what? Back up. You better back up.
Hey, listen, hold on. Then he gonna tell him where he from. Let it play.
Face, goddammit. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Shout out to all our brothers and sisters from Detroit, man.
Right.
I see y'all
East side, west side. Hey, somebody should have smacked sparks out of the first Edomite that said, "Hey man, you know what we gonna do today?"
Right. That's when he should have walked through the door.
Right. He
With
should
his
have walked
belt
through the door.
and suspenders.
Yeah. we about to do the ookie cookie. He should have came in there with that soap.
Oh, young man.
Right.
You don't want this, young man.
All right, hey, real quick, man. We're gonna go to a 3-minute break, man. We're gonna play a few commercials, man. Tune back in 3 minutes, and we're gonna bring out some history for y'all pertaining to our slavery, showing y'all that the other nations were Confederate and still are Confederate against us.
That's right.
All right, you're tuned in the scripts.
Reloaded.
Is this the problem you face when it's time to go over the Bible? Have you been searching for a fun way to bring the Bible to the classroom? Well, look no further. IUIC Boom Cards has you covered. The perfect solution to keep your children edified and occupied during the Sabbath and throughout the week. These decks provide exciting and interactive ways to learn that are sure to grab your child's attention. Now loaded with decks teaching the High Holy Days, the Commandments, and much more. Your child will love learning the Bible with IUIC Boom Cards. Order your deck today at www.boomlearning.com/author/IUIC. Is this the problem you face when it's time to go over the Bible? Have you been searching for a fun way to bring the Bible to the classroom? Well, look no further. IUIC Boom Cards has you covered. The perfect solution to keep your children edified and occupied during the Sabbath and throughout the week. These decks...
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word. His word! His word! His word!
We're back.
We are back.
That's
Hey,
right.
AV caught us. AV caught us. All praise. Hey, Look, we appreciate y'all going to the break and coming back with us, man, holding out so y'all can keep getting this information rolling out. You are tuned into In the Scripts. Loaded. Hey, so we're going into the second half of the show, man, and we want to dig into some history. Again, the title of the show tonight is They Are Confederate Against Us. And we want to bring out some history pertaining to the other nations having us, the Israelites, the true Jews
That's right.
of
That's
the earth,
right.
the children of God,
That's right.
sons of God on earth.
Bring it out.
But they had us in captivity. They had us in captivity. And a lot of people don't believe that these other nations had us in captivity. Why? Because every time, let's say right now I'm looking at brothers that are from the Midwest, brothers that are from the Northeast, right? Brothers that are from the South. Any one of us, if I ask, if you go into a corner store in a black community, in any of the communities that we were born and raised in, who was running them?
Ishmael,
Elam,
Arabs.
Yep.
Yeah, the same thing. But they people never want to look at it and wonder, why is it that Elam, which is the East Indian for y'all that don't know.
Welcome to 7-Eleven.
Right. Man, they own all the stuff. Them, the Somalians, and the Ethiopians, man.
Hurry up and buy.
Yeah, right. That's Moab. But why is it that Ishmael, the Arabians, why is it that Moab, the Chinese people, right? We go and eat at their stores. I remember being in New York, being on the East Coast. So I stayed in New York for just a short time. And I remember in Brooklyn, man, it was this little spot on Columbia and Smith, I think, or Smith and 9th Ave, I think was the little corner. But it was a little spot real popular to the Red Hook projects. And you'd go in there, and I had never seen it. You could get 4 fried wings and rice for $2. But they were the ones selling it to us. It wasn't us. And the whole projects is Negroes and Hispanics.
There wasn't no chicken, dog.
Hey, Wendy's doing like 20
I had to
20
break
wings
the
for
bone
$5.
and everything. Hold on, bro. Hold on.
$2.
Hey, they doing the same thing now. They 20 wings for $5 at Wendy's. You know.
Wendy's sell wings?
Wendy's? Wendy's wings.
Yeah, Wendy's wings.
Sheesh. Okay. What? We'll talk about how you know that later, bro. But okay.
Brothers are inquisitive now. They're like, really?
And Brother Hab been picking up some weight lately.
Man, Wendy's wings.
He been on those wings.
Right.
Captain Jim will call up in here. You know?
Ready to get off the wings, bro.
Hey, so real quick, man, to start off, before we go into that, because we want to show that, let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's go to the book of Psalms. You know what I want. Psalms 83. And let's start it, and we're going to shorten it because I don't want to overtalk everything, man. Start at verse number, read 2 through 4.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
So the enemies are the other nations. God is calling them his enemies. Also, they are. It is being said that they have lifted up their heads, meaning they have become proud against the Most High God. How proud? That they were proud enough that they would take the children of God, the sons and daughters, and enslave them on earth for their personal gain. Read.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
So, and some of that crafty counsel is through economics, right? Economically, they keep us oppressed through our educational system, right? That's crafty counsel.
Media.
We did a show on that. Remember where we talked about how they set up the education boards way back, late 1800s, early 1900s. Also through the eugenics tree. Bishop brings that out all the time, right? Dealing with that eugenics tree. So those are the crafty counsels that they took against us. Go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So they don't want us to remember that we are Israel. They have this information, and when you look at these books when you begin to find books from the 16, 17, 1800s, where we were not allowed to read, then you begin to see the conversations they were having between each other was always about how they were doing us and how it made them economically better.
Right.
And how they, used that form of oppression, the chattel slavery, in order to get rich, but to break us from knowing who we are. That's what they did the entire time. So it said that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Read.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
And that's the title of tonight's show. They are confederate against us. So let's start off. Let's go into what we have here information-wise. This is from a book. It's called Ancient Connections Between Asia and East Africa. Because what I find, man, is have y'all ever ran into, especially East Africans, right? You meet West Africans. West Africans, they understand that they just like us. You get some of them that act haughty, right? But East Africans, when you get to Kenya, Ethiopia especially, oh, we've never been colonized. Well, how the hell did your name become Ethiopia?
I am different type of black. I am not your black. I am different.
Oh, you heard that before?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say it.
With their sandals on and stuff.
With their sandals on. Yeah. So those in East African countries, man, Rwanda, Burundi, down to Zimbabwe. Most of them that I've met, they pretty laid back. But when you meet those guys that come from that eastern shore of Africa, they have an entirely different outlook on us, and they have an entirely different outlook even on West Africans. They'll say that, we're not the same. And it's like, come on, bro.
You know what? And most of them Muslims too.
Yeah, a lot of them Muslim.
Yeah. Go ahead, Os.
I was gonna say it could be that though. Some of them might be ham though. That might be why they feel like that.
Well, yeah, they are. They are. I mean, you have the Nilotes over there that we know are Hamitic, and then we have the Bantu speaking people, right, that are Israel, right. And then there's admixtures, but just on your general consensus, that's how you're looking at it. So we know that they are over there, as well as some ancient Ishmaelites.
Right.
Some of them are still in there, right? From Yemen over into East Africa, they still in there, and they look like those that are in Somalia and in Ethiopia and stuff, but they full-blooded Ishmael. So, but this book is called Ancient Connections Between Asia and East Africa. So I want to look at, did the Moabites have us in slavery? Let's read this.
The scholar Abd al-Rahman Ibn al-Jawz writes of black slaves at Baghdad.
At where?
Baghdad.
At Baghdad. Where's Baghdad? Anybody know what Baghdad is?
Is that bombs over Baghdad?
That's in Afghanistan, I think, maybe.
Yeah, that's Afghanistan.
What do they call it? The Middle East?
Yeah, I'm just
Middle West or whatever.
Yep, I'm gonna just look it up.
It's in Iraq, capital of Iraq.
It's the capital of Iraq. So we were there, right, in the land of Chaldea.
Right.
That was Babylon, right? Okay. Go ahead.
Texts mention the presence of African slaves in South Asia and China during the 13th and 14th century.
Wow. So African slaves were in China during the 13th and 14th century? That means the 12 and 1300s. Right? So that's that would be during the what they call the Dark Ages or the Middle Ages. Right? So we were already slaves in China. Go ahead.
Al-Biruni has pointed out the importance of Samanath as a port of transit for sailors, plying the seas between Africa and the Orient.
So now what most people have never studied is that there were two other slave routes, but there was one called the Silk Road slave trade.
That's right.
Yeah, the Silk Road slave trade, and then you had another that went further into the east, all right? But this is what he's bringing out to us. Jump down to that next highlighted section.
By the 11th century, the Chinese possessed some knowledge about the East African coast. The Xingtang Shan, written in 1060, contains a chapter on Malindi and on the northern coast of Kenya.
So the Chinese people in the 1000s were writing about the northern coast of Kenya. Go ahead.
Two Chinese chronicles of the 12th and 13th centuries contain descriptions of some of the
places
along the East African coast. One of these chronicles, the Lingua Dada.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, you got that one. Yeah, you got that one.
That's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, right.
Right. Which translates as representative answers from the region beyond the mountains in the south. Was written ca. circa 1178 by Zhou Queef, an official who lived in Guilin, Ganga. The other is entitled Zulufazili, or Records of Foreign People.
The hell is this?
Okay. Or records of foreign people. Okay.
You know when you at the eye doctor, you can't see none of the letters. You like FLO. You like, sure, they're all letters.
All right. But it says that this is the records of foreign people.
It was written in 1225 by Zhou, who served as superintendent of maritime trade at Guangzhou. Zhao Rugu lists Zongi, northern Somalia.
You doing pretty good at that.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Hey, a Chinese Mo might be watching our show right now, like, damn,
Right.
brother knows he knows Mandarin or whatever language they do.
It's Mandarin.
Right.
By
But so this is a record of Somalia. Again, East Africa, right? Go ahead.
bipolar Zhang, probably Madagascar, see below. The book by Zoragu says this about Zanzibar.
Zanzibar. Go ahead.
Zulkifli and Zhao show an awareness of the existence of two areas called Kunlun.
Kunlun. Now keep that in mind, right? Kunlun. You've heard of that before?
Yes, sir. Yes,
LSJ?
Sir. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Kunlun. All right. Go down to that last highlighted piece.
I think that might still be the one. You want me to finish it?
Oh, that's the one that you just read?
Yeah. Finish it up.
One in Southeast Asia and one Kunlun Singki in the West, where one could find elephant tusks, rhino horns, and ping birds and black people who were captured to be sold as slaves.
And black people who were captured to be sold as slaves. So guess what, y'all? The west coast of Africa is not the only place that you saw slave ships leave from. Why? Because when we read up in the section above, it said these were maritime records, meaning shipping logs. Right? Maritime is always going into selling, correct? So these were shipping logs. So the things that they're finding in these shipping logs was about elephant tusk, rhino horns, the ping bird, and it's interesting that ping bird is they said it's like a huge ostrich or something, like it's a real weird bird. And black people who were captured to be sold as slaves. All right? Go ahead.
The mention of Madagascar in
read that top part just so it finishes it.
mention of Madagascar in the
Chinese text, the top paragraph.
Chinese, there we go. Chinese text reveals the integration, still limited, of this island into international networks. Zhao Rugu here repeats Zhao Qifi, as well as well-known legends from the Muslim world.
So now we're looking at China definitely had our people as slaves. Now, how do we know that those were our people? Because the scriptures tell us, give us Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel. How do we know that these were our people? Well, first, actually, read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, some people will say, see, right there, it doesn't say anything about Israel. It says, you know, just to do his commandments. So anybody can do God's commandments. Y'all ever hear Christians say that? Everybody can do God's commandments. If they believe on Christ, they can be. Man, shut up.
The hell is this?
Shut up. So God said that I'm telling you to do these commandments, or else curses are going to come upon you. Give me Psalms chapter 147. Let's see. We could go to 1 and 1, but let's just go to Psalms 147 to solidify who these commandments were to and who was told that they had to do them or lived as a cursed people.
The book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob.
Unto Jacob. His name was changed to Israel. Go ahead.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Unto Israel.
He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
So the other nations have not known these judgments. They have not known these curses because it was only given to Israel. That's right. Deuteronomy 28 and 15 is only talking to Israel. So when you see people going into slavery on ships, that is Israel.
Right.
I don't care what you think or what you try to say.
Right.
So let's go back to this. Let's go to the highlighted section. The first Chinese maps.
The first Chinese maps of Africa show that precise information was systematically collected from Arab, Persian, and Indian ship captains.
Wait a minute. So now the Chinese have maps that they created But they created these maps based on whose information?
Arab, Persian, and Indian ship captains.
Wait a minute. So they got information from Ishmael. They got information from Elam. And they got information from the Persians.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
We're gonna go back to Psalms 83 in a minute. Hey, and y'all kick in. We just bringing out the history. We got to pull this whole thing out. But these are the people that you see, ironically, in our communities, usually running everything.
Right.
These are also the same people that you get a job and all of a sudden you're an IT guy. You're extremely good at what you do, but then they bring in a guy of one of these three nations. You've been working there for 10 years. They force you to train him, and all of a sudden he becomes your boss. He gets the promotion.
Hey, what Umar say? Ain't this a little suspicious?
Right.
This a little suspicious.
Hey, let me get a script. Let me get a script, officer.
Yes, sir.
Hey, go to Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let's start at verse 43.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 43. The stranger.
It's talking about the Chinese people, the Arabs, the East Indian people, everybody that you see in our neighborhoods that's owning the restaurants and owning the merchandises and all the stores. Those are the strangers in our neighborhoods. Here's what the Bible says. Read.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Read.
And thou shalt come down very low.
Because they get to go back to their neighborhoods where the grass is green and it's no trash.
Right.
But us, we where it's low. We're in the ghetto.
Right.
We came down.
Right.
And we're supposed to own this earth. But the strangers own it now. Read.
He shall lend to thee.
And when you go to a bank, or when you go get your payday loan, guess who you giving your money to? The strangers.
Right.
Read.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
Not at all, because you ain't got nothing. We don't have any banks. We have a few banks, but not enough to what? Raise a nation. Right? Read.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
And that's what you see in all our neighborhoods. They're the head and we're the tail.
That's right.
Hey, read verse 64.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Among who?
All people.
So even over there in China.
Among all people.
Among all people, we will be scattered all over the earth by way of cargo slave ships. Read on.
From one end of the earth even unto the other.
Read.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Read.
Even wood and stone.
And that wood also, or that stone go also into that Buddha.
Right.
You think you were Buddhism just off the strength? No.
Right.
Our people were sold into slavery over there as well, and we learned their religions.
That's right. That's right. Hey, as a matter of fact, I think back to an old movie, man. Ike Turner. But the movie was What's Love Got to Do with It? Ike Turner was wrong. He was wrong as two left shoes. But you remember him and Tina had that fight, and all of a sudden she found religion. What religion was it that she found?
Buddhism.
She found Buddhism. So when you watch, I used to sit there and wonder, why is it that nobody's tripping that she used to sing gospel music and was, Christian and Jesus and da-da-da, like so many of our singers do, but then all of a sudden she's num your hold rengekyo, num your hold.
Hey, you know what that sound like? Speaking in tongues.
Right,
Speaking in tongues.
right.
Sound just like Christianity.
Right. It's in her spirit. Why? Because we were scattered into China and we served other gods in China as well.
Hey, to your point about serving those other gods and Chinese and stuff like that, I know the bishops have brought it out a lot lately, but I don't know if our sisters put it into their mind that weave. That's going into serving that other god as well, because it's brought out that when they cut their hair off, they be sacrificing it to them idols. And then our sisters say, oh, yeah, I got to get me that lace front together. I got to whatever.
Right.
You still indulging in that East Indian, Chinese worship of them other deities by putting that crap in your head.
Right. Excellent point.
Hey, can we read verse 65?
Yeah, go ahead.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. So that's the part that I want. So when you go into all these other countries, look for the people that are the literal slaves there.
Right.
The people that are the workhorses, the mules, so on and so forth. And that's going to be an indicating marker. Okay, these people that are ostracized, oppressed, working, but in the hoods and in the ghettos, these are the children of Israel.
Right.
Real quick, I had one at the job. It's just, damn, Edomite told me something at my job. He's
Hold on.
He got a story. Every
It's
show
Officer Kashai story time.
Hey, so this, put on the music.
Hurry up, kids. Hurry up, kids. Get to the television.
Edomite at my job, man. He said that back when he went to school, he said he used to he said he had a reunion not too long ago. Black dude, Jake, his best friend. He said this guy's a doctor now. He said he would always think it was strange whenever he would get his work back from the teacher and he would have 100, but Jake would have a 40 or a 50, and he would cheat off of the Jake.
Dang.
Wow.
So when he told me that, I thought, we've heard the saying, we got to work twice as hard just to, get damn near half of what they get. This brother legit was getting half the credit off of his own work that the Edomite was
cheating off of.
Cheating off of, and he even still against that oppression. This dude a doctor now or a physician, whatever the Edomite said he was. And in my mind, I'm like, wow.
So the white boy became a doctor off of Jake's homework.
No. White boy a teacher. Jake is a doctor.
Okay. All praise. Well, Jake is a doctor.
Yeah. Right. So stuff like that. That's what makes it. You ain't got no ease because even the hard work that you're doing, you still gonna be like, damn, I still gotta wake up every day and slave.
Right. But you know what? That's why I come to the show, because Officer Kashai would tell you a story, and it would touch your heart.
Touch your heart.
Get the tissue.
Hey, right. Hey, let's go back to the reading real quick. We were at these maps.
Let me figure out where I'm at.
The second line. Yeah, the second sentence.
These maps are thus surprisingly accurate. A map dated in the 14th century in the U2 of Zhu Sibin, later published CA 1555 in the Guangyu shows the African continent's southern orientations and triangular shape.
Yeah.
According to a modern reconstruction of East Africa as possibly envisaged by a Chinese official of the Song or Yuan dynasty, an island off the East African coast appears to be Madagascar.
So it's showing what they're saying is that these maps are extremely accurate.
Right.
So if China was not already trading over here, how would they have maps from the 1000s, right? From the 1000s to that are showing Africa, and it's laid out perfectly.
And they're getting all of these map layouts from the records of the ship captains.
Right. The ship. Right. Exactly. Yeah, let's read that next one.
The text by Zhu Kuifi and Zhao Rugu give us interesting data on African products reaching China at this time, as well as on Indian Ocean trade.
So Africa on China and Indian Ocean trade. Go ahead.
Ivory, already mentioned during the 9th century, came from Mirbat in the Hadramaut, a port which seems to have been a thriving market for ivory. It also indicates the prominent place South Arabian merchants held in East African trade. Aromatic resins such as myrrh and incense were also carried from the Horn of Africa toward ports of the Hadramaut. Marbat, Shabir, and Zafar called Maloba or Maloma, Shiho, and Zufu by Zugrugu. Zurugu mentions other products from East Africa.
All right. So he mentions other products from East Africa. Let's go to that next page.
Zoom in a little bit. He mentions other products that were imported into China. Dragon's blood.
Dragon's blood is one of them. Go ahead.
Alloys, unidentified aromatic wood, and turtle shells. At the start of the 12th century, according to the Pingzhao Catan, written by Zhu Yu, most rich Cantonese owned black slaves called devil slaves.
So these rich Cantonese Moabites called their slaves devil slaves.
The hell is this?
Because they were black. Now it's going to tell us who those devil slaves are. Remember that word that we said earlier?
Kulu.
Yep. Read the next part.
The historical context suggests that the Kunlun, or devil slaves.
The Kunlun were called devil slaves.
Wow.
They called our people the devil.
Wow. Looking at.
Yes.
Can I get a scripture?
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy 28:37.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
That's what that Kung Lao devil slave. I mean, every name imaginable, everything outside of your God-given name is what we tend to be under these nations. Read that one more time.
And thou shalt become an astonishment.
And it's astonishing, to be called the devil and you the God on earth.
Right.
That's an astonishment. Read.
A proverb.
A proverb.
And a byword.
So among these nations, whether it's Chinese, Moab, Elam, you name it. Everywhere we went, we became a product. We became subservient to these nations, and they named us.
Right.
We didn't name ourselves. They named us.
And you're seeing they're the merchants. They set up international commerce way back then, and it was built off of us, along with other products. Hey, let's skip this. Let's go away from this page. Let's go to the next page, page 31, and just read both of those highlighted pieces. Because that's Moab, right? That's the Chinese people. So now let's put it in the hands of somebody else. Let's see who else did something to us.
The top part.
Yep, read that top part, and then we're going to go down to the other one. That's why I only highlighted this small
This is
piece.
from Zhang, his expeditions to the Gujarati preeminence. Production and exchange once again took an upswing at the end of the 14th century and during the 15th century.
So this is the 13 and 1400s, right? So this is coming into that period of what we know as the Renaissance period, right? So we're building up. Now go to, read that.
For this period, Indians were active in the Indian Ocean network.
Who?
Indians.
Now Indians. India now then jumped full swing into the game.
Dinga, dinga, dinga.
Right?
Let me get the black devil slave.
Right. Right. All right. Go ahead.
Y'all anti-Semitic.
Right.
The disintegration of the Sultanate of Delhi gave rise to cosmopolitan merchant sultates. First of all, Gujarat and Bengal, large states such as the Bagmani Sultanate and Vijayanagara also rose to prominence. Gujaratis now played a significant role on the East African coast.
So now all of a sudden, India, Elam is playing a significant role in the East African slave trade. Like, hey, let me get a piece of this, right? Go ahead.
The hell is this?
Where they exported cotton fabrics and beads and imported gold from Zimbabwe, as well as slaves.
As well as what?
Slaves.
As well as slaves. Go ahead.
African slaves became a prominent element in the military and administrative machines of the sultanates of the Deccan.
So they did just like they did us. Remember in Rome, Greece had us. In Greece, we were the Spartans, right? So we were fighting in their wars. And in Rome, they had us, right? Cornelius was one of us, right? You had companies of us. But everywhere that you go, they always end up putting us in their military,
Similar,
just like here.
What they did with Ephraim, allowing them to go into war for them to get their citizenship.
Right.
With Gad fighting against other Gadites, fighting against other Edomites,
Right.
and so on and so forth.
Same thing.
What they did it here in the Civil War. When you watch the movie Emancipation, it goes into that a little bit.
Right.
Hey, I like what Soldier Zamar had posted in the channel.
What he posted?
He had posted they made a fighting character. Y'all ever seen Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Kung Lao.
Oh, wow.
Watch it. I'm gonna send a picture to show you somebody that look just like that. Pull it up.
Bring it out.
Yeah, bring that out.
Kung Lao, devil slave. Damn.
Not just a slave, but a devil slave.
Devil slave.
Dang. Esau throw it right in your face, won't they? That's wild.
Wow.
The hell is this?
Right there it says, click that one. Yeah, where it said right there. Click that one. It says African Kung Lu servant in ancient China.
Wow. So we over there fighting their wars.
We're fighting their wars.
You know
so
that?
now pull up the picture of the actual character that they use in the Mortal Kombat.
Black woman, make sure you pay attention.
It's on the channel too. It's right up above.
This your favorite nail stylist on the screen right now.
Right.
Oh, Miss Lily just loved my toes so much. She always give me a compliment on my toenails.
Right.
The hell is
Now
this?
pull up that AV. Pull up that picture right up above the link that you click to get to this.
Girl, they even gave me my own nickname, Kunlun.
Yeah. Right there.
Don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
And they're happy though.
Kung Lao, fictional character, Mortal Kombat fighting game franchise. Moab.
But he was actually black.
Black, right.
Wow.
And that's what I was gonna say. I saw, I can't remember the name of the guy, but I saw somewhere where they actually had a record that said that it was a black slave that taught them kung fu. So to your point about how us being in a military and fighting in an army, a lot of people when they think about kung fu or karate or martial arts, they think, oh man, it's Chinese, Bruce Lee.
Right.
No, we started that. We
Right.
was the one who taught them kung fu and got them in there doing what they doing now.
Hey, we're gonna have to dig into that Bruce Lee thing because I did some research not long ago and dug into it. I got to pull it up, but research that I saw, man, said that Bruce Lee was actually Amalek.
What?
They said his daddy was Amalek. His
The hell
mother
is
and his
this?
grandmother was Moab. But Bruce Lee was actually Amalek, which is why they pushed him so far in stardom.
Yeah, over here especially.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we got to dig into that. I ain't gonna say much more. I got to pull it out so we can prove it.
You just dropped a nugget on it
Yeah.
and pulled it right back.
Yeah, right. All right, hey, let's go back. Let's go back to the highlights on page 31.
It's a brother right now saying, "No, man, Bruce Lee, he's an Israelite."
Right.
Right.
Bruce Leroy.
Yeah. For real.
He was
Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, right.
It says African slaves became a prominent element in the military and administrative machines of the sultanates of the Deccan, Bengal, and Gujarat. The presence of a population of African origin, the Sidi.
The who?
The Sidi.
The Sidi. The Sidi people, right now, if you look them up, they are in India and they are Jake. They are Israelites, but they were slaves, and some of them know it, some of them don't. Right, but the Sidi people, you also have the Kuki, and you have one other one. There's 3 tribes that I know of, but there's more. Deacon talks about them.
Yeah, right? I remember they mentioned the CDs, right?
Right. Yeah, Captain Joel goes in on it all the time about those Sidi people. But so the Sidi, go ahead.
The Sidi in the district of Ratanpur may have been linked to the exploitation and trade.
So the exploitation and trade, and it's talking about of slavery. So that's tying in 4 groups of people there, right? We had Moab, we had Elam, we had Ishmael, and we had the Persians. All of them were mixed into there. So never forget, y'all, that they are Confederate. Why? Because we see here way back in 1000 AD, all the way up, they were trading us, and we were the major portion of the money that they made.
Exactly.
So that means they're 100% in agreement with what they're doing. But there's one group of people that loves to say that they had nothing to do with this whole thing. One group of people.
Who that is?
The Amalekites.
Ain't no way, boy.
Esau, Edom, Idumea. Today we know them as the Caucasian or European race.
That's right.
Don't let nobody fool. Don't let them fool y'all. They try to tell you that them and Caucasians or white people are not this. That's a lie.
Right.
They are the same race of people, but these are the Amalekites. Before we go into it, let's get where we came out of. Let's get where God told us to go against them and tells why he told us to go against them. Where is that? In Exodus? Yeah. Is it Exodus 17? Yeah, he says that he wants us to go get them. Yeah, 17 and 8. Let's read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17 and verse 8. Then came Amalek and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said unto Joshua.
No. So that's good.
Yeah.
Then Amalek came out and fought with Israel in Rephidim. This is as soon as we come out of Egypt, right? Now go to 36 and 12. Exodus. I think it's 36 and 12.
The book of Exodus, chapter 36 and verse 12.
50
50 loops made he in one curtain.
Oh, no, I'm tripping. It's further. Is it Genesis? Okay. That's all right. Go to 1 Samuel 15.
Are you?
Yes. Well, you probably looking for 17.
36 and 8. Genesis 36 and 8. Where you trying to go with it?
War for generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up in that same chapter. Exodus 17.
Exodus, okay.
The book of Exodus, chapter 17,
yeah,
verse 16. Or 14 down to 16.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book.
He told Joshua to write it. He told Moses to write it down for a memorial in a book.
and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua.
Why? Because Joshua is the one that would carry on the work that Moses was doing in place of Moses. Go ahead.
For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.
I will put out their remembrance from under heaven. Meaning they're going to be destroyed and be like a bad dream. Like they never existed for what they did. They were the first ones to meet us coming out of Egypt. But remember, they came out of Esau, who was our evil twin brother, right? Keep reading.
And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
So we got war with Amalek from generation to generation, and God said build an altar on that thing and call it Jehovah Nissi.
That's right.
To remember that we're going to war with them from generation to generation. We won't even pull Samuel up. So now, in this book, what's the title of this book? Let's just go through it, man. I'll have to tell the title later. But yeah, let's just go through this.
So it says, she presented Benjamin Shephtal as a man of modest means and relatively few possessions, while footnoting the family of 3 people Benjamin held in bondage at the time of his death. Snyder failed to mention that Benjamin's will gave instruction to split the enslaved family between his son Levi and his grandsons by Mordecai.
So now, what do you think this guy is? His name is Benjamin Shephtal. Then he has a son named Levi and a grandson named Mordecai. Who is this?
Israelite.
That's what you would think. Yeah, and these are Israelites. These are Amalekites. These are the first people who helped to found and establish the state of Georgia in America in the 1700s. So as Georgia was being established, then people needed to come in, of course, and buy up the land, right? And they had a general named Oglethorpe. And Oglethorpe was the one that was over that area, the territory of Georgia, what we know as the state of Georgia today. So he was the one that would write out, what land somebody would get and so forth and so on. So these are Amalekites that came to America from Europe and have gotten land, and they came in and immediately are buying slaves.
The hell is this?
All right? So this is an Amalekite, but we're gonna see. Keep reading.
In another article, Snyder notes that Mordecai's wife, Frances Hart Shephtal, had some assistance within the household from the family's Negro slaves.
From their what?
Negro slaves.
From their Negro slaves. This is the so-called Jewish people.
There you go.
These records are out here for people to read. They're lying. They are Confederate against us. So now we're reading Edom. We have read Ishmael, and we have read Moab. Give me Psalms chapter 83. Let's go back there real quick before we finish this up.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 5.
Yep, start at verse 5.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee, is what is being said. Go ahead.
The tabernacles of Edom,
which is the so-called white man, including the Amalekites, who are the so-called Jewish, or the Jewish Israeli people. That's the first ones that God said is on his hit list for the confederacy that they formed against us and putting us in slavery. Go ahead.
And the Ishmaelites.
Ishmael is the so-called Arabians today, the forefather of our older brother named Ishmael, who hated us because he was not chosen, but Isaac was chosen. Go ahead.
Of Moab.
Of Moab. Moab is the so-called Chinese people. These are the 3 top people on the list. And every time you read slavery, these are the biggest holders in slavery across the globe. They are confederate against us. And this is what we read.
Read verse 4 again. Read that verse 4.
Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So they put us on ships and they separated us because they didn't want us to be a nation. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
And when we got into slavery, they changed our names.
That's right.
That's what happened.
Called us coon loon, devil slaves,
all them things.
African American.
Jump back down to 6 and finish 6 because let's see who else is in this lineup.
Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
So-called white man, Arabians.
Of Moab.
Chinese.
And the Hagarenes.
African, Hamitic or Nilotic Africans. Gibal.
Gabal.
That is Hamitic or Nilotic Africans.
And Ammon.
The Japanese people, which was in some of those records. I just didn't pull it all up. But the Japanese had us as slaves as well.
And Amalek.
Amalek, the Jewish man. The ones that you see that own all of the media outlets that are controlling the banks and controlling everything going on around the world, financially and media-wise. This is them. So they are on God's hit list for what they have done to us. And we are reading right now in Georgia that they bought us as slaves when they came here as immigrants.
What the hell is this?
All right, let's go back to the reading.
Wow. It says,
Negro slaves without any further
examination as to what role enslaved people played in maintaining the Sheftal's kosher home, by asserting that there wasn't much different about Jewish slaveholding, Korn's thesis has done little in the way of encouraging scholars to dig into the slaveholding of their Jewish subjects.
Why? Because there were some people that came across from Austria and Germany and those places, right? And they came over as indentured servants. So what he's saying right here is that the scholars or other people, this guy named Korn, he made it so light that, you had indentured servants and then you had slaves and that they were like, oh, okay, well, yeah. They didn't even want to look into
He said, don't look this way, man. It ain't nothing to look into.
Yeah, it's nothing to look into, man. We don't want to say that they held slaves. Go ahead.
Allowing them to instead mention slavery fleetingly.
They mentioned it fleetingly, like it was nothing. Yeah, it's just no big deal, man. We weren't really involved in that like that. Go ahead.
If at all, as though the added interpretation would give nothing to their analysis.
Keep reading.
This study challenges Korn's thesis by examining the lives of Benjamin and his youngest son, Levi Sheftal, in the context of the world in which they lived. I emphasize labor and religion in recognition of the daily economic and cultural exchanges that built up the Sheftal.
The Sheftal's lived experience.
Lived experience.
So he's saying that the slaves added to or were a part of the economic and cultural exchanges.
Right.
Because it was all about them being merchants and we were their merchandise. We were the biggest merchandise being moved around right now. Shoot.
So actually, all these countries got rich off our backs.
All of them.
Literally.
All of them. Let's go down. Well, keep reading. Keep reading because it's going to hit something. Because we always look at just us, right?
Right.
Keep reading.
By examining labor, I discovered significant differences between Jewish slaveholding and non-Jewish slaveholding.
Go ahead.
Jewish people adapted slavery into their lives and practice of Judaism.
Wow.
Slavery is a part of Judaism. Watch what they did, though, to make it seem like they were such good slaveholders, right? Go ahead.
Jewish homes provided enslaved peoples with different opportunities to carry on African-based traditions. Significantly, a slaveholder's observance of both Jewish law and city Sabbatarian ordinances afforded certain enslaved peoples nearly 2 days in which they could labor for themselves.
So they could work for themselves, but it was the Sabbath, though.
Wow.
Right. Ain't no way, boy.
You can work for me 5 days, but I'm going to give you 2 days to work for yourself.
Right. You can work for me 5 days, but I'm going to give you 2 days to work for yourself. So they allowed them to work 7 days a week because the other days, y'all got to do stuff for us. So if you got stuff you need to do for yourself, do it on those days. Well, guess what? They had them doing it on the Sabbath day.
Right.
The hell is this?
Devil.
That's a huge difference between the others.
Huge difference. Damn devils. Keep reading, though. Let's see who else was added into this.
This study places the Sheftal's lives within the framework of broader themes in early American history. Watson W. Jennison argued in Cultivating Race, the presence of Creek, Cherokee, and Seminole Indians in Georgia until their removal beginning in 1805 delayed Georgia in establishing the legal and social framework for a bifurcated racial system, as seen developing in Virginia and elsewhere during the same period.
So, who else did they have enslaved with the knee? Who did they have to remove so that they could fully make it slavery?
Gad and Reuben.
Gad and Reuben. Now, we know during this time that this is coming up. This is the 1700s, mid to late 1700s. So what was happening with Gad and Reuben at this time?
They was being brought over here on slave ships and taken back to Spain and scattered all over the four corners as well.
Right. And it was the beginning of the plans of
the Removal Act.
the Indian Removal Act, which became the Trail of Tears.
Oh, the Trail of Tears. With Andrew Jackson.
Right, because it said he had to remove them from Georgia.
Right.
So when he removed them from Georgia, they pushed them to west, which became the Trail of Tears.
Which became the
It's
Trail
around
of
the
Tears.
same time they found gold up in Georgia.
Yes, yes.
And of course, Amalek will be the one to find some gold.
Right, absolutely. But you know why? Because the Gad and them knew where it was. Remember, they didn't think much about it. You know, what was it in that one book where it said that when they
playing with diamonds like marbles?
Yeah, playing with diamonds like marbles.
Ephraim or somebody.
Yeah, so it was nothing. So, you know, they used them to find the reserves that they had, and then, okay, we're going to take all of this, like they always do. But let's finish reading that.
What was we at? This study begins with Benjamin in Prussia, while the Southern American Indian slave trade came to a bloody close.
The what?
The Southern American Indian slave trade came to a bloody close.
So this is during the time of the South American Indian slave trade. So they telling you that the Northern Kingdom was going into slavery by the hands of these people too. And this guy Benjamin, who ended up coming over here and saying that he was poor, right? Because remember in that one it said that he was of modest funds or whatever it said about him. But somehow he ends up with slaves in his house, and they can do the housework for his wife.
The hell is this?
Right? But during the time that he was still in Prussia, over on that side, then while that's going on, a slave trade going on from those that were Northern Kingdom that was in the islands.
Right. Hey, you know what else this proved, though, too? For them brothers out there that say that the Northern Kingdom, you know, Gad and Reuben is not Israel, you brothers got to get that hatred out your heart. Really what it is just hatred.
Right.
You know, we saw Bishop brought it out a few, I think it was last week maybe, where the sister put in the comment, oh, it's really these black men trying to mess with these Hispanic women. All it is hatred trying to say that they're not Israel. The historical documents prove and show that the so-called Native American Indians were sold into slavery right along with the so-called African Americans.
Right. You know what's crazy?
What it really is they believe the slave master more than the Bible.
Right.
Because the slave master was the ones that told them that they wasn't, it told Northern Kingdom they wasn't Israel.
Right.
So for your own brothers to turn around and say that you ain't Israel, you falling behind your slave master, the white man.
Yeah. Right. Hey, but it's funny though, because anytime that you have hair that they consider of being a good texture or pretty hair, what is the first thing they say? Oh, I got
Indian in my family.
But then you turn around and marry a Gadite woman with that long, straight black hair, and they're like, oh, you couldn't get a black woman.
Right.
Ain't no way. That don't make no sense, bro. Right. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's go over to the next page, y'all. Let's bring out that next page.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Yeah, let's bring it out. Cap chiming in. Let's bring that up. Yes.
The book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 1. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
So the Lord, meaning Jesus, God said unto my Lord, Jesus Christ, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. So what's going on now is we are patient. Here is the patience of the saints. We are waiting for that day that all of these nations that have taken us as slaves become the footstool of our Lord and Savior Jesus the Christ, and we reign as heirs with him over these nations.
That's right. Verse 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathen.
He shall what?
Judge among the heathen.
And that's going to be a lot of death.
That's right.
Blood up to the horse's bridle. He's going to judge amongst the heathen. Go ahead.
He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries.
So these countries have to die for what they've done to the children of the Most High God.
That's right.
The Bible says that you took us into slavery, so you must go into slavery yourself.
Right.
Amen.
All praise. That's gospel.
That's
right. The Bible.
That's gospel. That's right. All right, let's go back to this. Let's read that.
42 Jewish colonists arrived in Georgia July 11th, 1733. While these enslaved men were still laboring in Savannah, and before the collections raised by the Jewish leaders in London could be halted and seized. News of the arrival confirmed the trustees' rumors when South Carolina Governor Robert Johnson wrote in his 1732 July letter, "We cannot fathom the design of sending 40 Jews to Georgia. They will never, I believe, make planters, and if not supported by their friends in England, must starve."
So you see that?
Dang.
They couldn't. They wouldn't know how to work the land, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
So what was it that they were going to need in order to cultivate that land? Slaves. He said, "Man, I can't fathom 42 of them soft shoe,
dandruff headed.
Yeah, right. Troglodytes coming over here and making it in that land that we call Georgia. I can't see him doing it."
He said they gotta have some slaves. Bob, they gotta have some slaves.
Yes.
It ain't no way.
Yes, because in South Carolina it was already legal at this time. Let's go ahead.
Robert Johnson's bewilderment at the arrival of the Jewish colonies, written in July, the same month as their arrival, must have made the trustees in England all the more anxious to have James Oglethorpe's report as the sole trustee actually in Georgia.
So James Oglethorpe, he was a general. He was the sole trustee in Georgia, right? So he's the one that wrote the records, and he's got and there's a book, and I've got a PDF of it. I got to find it. I got to pull it up. But he has the records of slaves that were coming in, and what Amalekites bought, how many slaves they owned, and so forth. This is the foundation of the state of Georgia. Hi, ATL. Hi, Riverdale. This is the foundation of Georgia. Go ahead.
Writing in August to the other Georgia trustees in England, Oglethorpe had more pressing issues than the arrival of the Jewish colonists. When I returned hither from Charleston,
South Carolina,
I found the people were grown very mutinous and impatient of labor and discipline.
So these dudes that came in, that old boy said, "Man, they ain't gonna be able to make it." He said, "I found that they were despised having to do any labor, but they call us lazy."
Right.
Pull yourself up by your bootstrap, they say.
Right.
Ain't no way, boy.
But they came in with land that was given to them in a country that was never theirs, and they said, "Man, I don't want to do this work."
Right.
Keep reading.
Oglethorpe blamed rum and slavery for the change in the once diligent colonists, and to remedy the first I sent away the Negroes.
He did what?
First I sent away the Negroes.
So they wasn't even doing the work. They were getting drunk. He said the problem that made these dudes lazy was that they had rum and they had slaves.
Damn.
They had rum and slaves. So these jokers was lazy as hell. Didn't want to do no work. He said, "Man, I got to fix the problem. I'm going to send these slaves away and see what they do." Keep reading.
To remedy the first, I sent away the Negroes who sawed for us. For so long as they continued here, our men were encouraged in idleness by their working for them.
So they relied on us to do all the work for them. They didn't come over here with no plan to work the land. Why? Because they had already been told back in Europe that when you get over there, you can buy some of them Negroes for the low price, and they're going to work your land, and they're going to make you rich when you get there.
So that means fast forward 400, 300 plus years, you got a Edomite that ain't never stepped foot on a football field or play to play. He can sit in this chair, rack up 100,000, 300,000 in 3 months.
Right.
Just talking about Negroes in the field.
Hey, I got a client. He's NFL. He's high accolade. I won't say his name or none of that. But he told me about being in college. And at college, he said that he started to recognize that there was a lot of Edomite players that was there. They were there on scholarship, full ride, that never even suited up. Never played a game, but they were part of the football team, full ride scholarships. He said, and then further, when he made it into the, when they had to go to the combine, he said he see all the brothers there working. You see a few of the Edomites in there doing workouts or whatever, but their workout, they not looking the same as the brothers that's in there. And then you make it into the league, and they get into the league, and there's a group of Edomites that are part of the team, but they riding the bench, and they get millions of dollars a year, and then they end up being coaches, and they ain't played a game.
Wow.
The hell is this?
He said, Dewan, there's just certain skills that are not on the field. It's behind closed doors. Stop with all the questions, Dewan.
Right.
Dang.
You know something, what's really funny? How they call us lazy.
Yes.
Right. You remember the old school cartoons where they had us eating the watermelon with the big lips, the Sleepy Town videos where they have us shucking and jiving and sleeping and snoring, eating and sleeping.
Yeah.
How? And we built up America on our backs.
We built America
it
on
worked
our
Sunday
backs.
to Sunday.
Right.
I don't see how that's possible.
Right.
Hey, so to finish this out real quick, man, let's go just to the last page. I got to skip one page, and we got to rush through this thing. Go to page 53. It's the last page that I sent you. Well, let's just go to page 53. Because there was a lot.
Bring it out.
As slavery increased in Georgia.
As it did what?
Increased in Georgia.
But it wasn't supposed to be there, though. They were fighting against it, right? Yeah, right. Go ahead.
So, too, did the frequency of cargo ships carrying enslaved people. By the mid-1760s, ships arrived in Georgia directly from Africa, carrying hundreds of people.
But at first, we came here to work our own land and get the land for free. We're Jewish. We don't deal in slavery. So it goes from 42 men coming into Georgia, having no slaves at all, to all of a sudden these slaves are now doing the work for them, and all they doing is getting drunk while they have the slaves. Now you looking just a few years down the line, less than 20 years, and all of a sudden the ships are coming directly from Africa, porting in Georgia.
Right. The hell is this?
So all of those rich landholders that you find in Georgia, those old names of Edomites, a majority of them are Amalekites. And a lot of them changed their names to last names like Bennett and Browns and all of that. But those are Amalekites. Finish reading that?
On the 24th of July, 1766, Levi purchased a man named Quash with